The following presentation is non-profit and is intended for entertainment purposes only. All events within this presentation are non-canon. Batman and all related characters are the property of DC Comics, Warner Brothers, and their respective owners. Hilarious Matrimony, a Batman fanfiction. Written and read by Robert Cantor. Chapter 12. Jorge Broilgooge had just wrapped up another grueling and unfulfilling shift at Pizza Palace. The neon lights of the pizzeria flickered behind him as he stepped outside. The familiar sounds of the city enveloped him. The sounds of sirens in the distance, unintelligible chatter from pedestrians, and the occasional honk of a car horn. He took a moment to catch his breath, leaning against the cool metal of the bus stop sign, waiting for the bus that always seemed to be running late. Just as he was beginning to relax, something inexplicable happened. Without any warning, his feet left the ground entirely, and he found himself being yanked upward by an invisible force. Panic set in. The world below him shrank as he was pulled toward the roof of a nearby building. When he finally regained his bearings, he realized that he was face to face with Batman himself. The menacing figure loomed in front of him, his cape draping behind him, casting an intimidating shadow. If looks could kill, Jorge would have been incinerated on the spot. Jorge's heart was racing as he frantically scanned the illuminated skyline, and it was then that he noticed the ominous claw and cable that hoisted him up. His eyes widened in terror as he followed the length of the cable to the Batwing, which hovered silently above him like a bird of prey ready to strike.
"I want the Joker,"
growled Batman. The words hung in the air, heavy with expectation. "I don't know any," Jorge stammered, his throat dry and his palms slick as fear cascaded through him like a river. Without a moment's hesitation, Batman pressed a button on his gauntlet, and in that instant, the Batwing's engines flared to life. The powerful surge of energy sent Jorge's stomach lurching as the world around him turned into a blur of vibrant city lights. The Batwing took off like a rocket, weaving through the skyscrapers, while Jorge dangled like bait on a fishing line, completely at the mercy of his captor. Panic gripped him. He screamed at the top of his lungs, his voice swallowed by the wind as the Batwing raced through the city. As the Batwing barreled toward Wayne Tower, a fresh wave of terror washed over him. It looked as if he was going to collide with the towering skyscraper. But at the last moment, the Batwing executed a hair-raising sharp turn and brought Jorge back to the roof where Batman was waiting. Batman's terrifying expression hadn't changed, but Jorge's terror was compounded with embarrassment as he realized that his pants were now soaked with urine.
"Nightwing and Starfire were given a pizza with a Jokerized fish in it,"
growled Batman.
"You prepared that pizza."
Jorge's mind raced as he tried to recollect the events leading up to this nightmare.
"Some chick gave me the fish and promised me $5,000 if I put it in a pizza, if anyone made a very specific order. I don't know anything else."
His voice cracked, terror lacing every word. Disappointment etched across Batman's features.
"You're useless,"
he declared with finality. Batman pressed another button, and Jorge dropped like a rock. He screamed as he plummeted toward the pavement below. The world rushed up to meet him at incredible speed. Just as Jorge thought he would meet a sudden end, he abruptly stopped in midair. The claw released its grip, and he fell unceremoniously, but harmlessly onto the ground. Gasping for breath, he lay there trying to comprehend what had just happened, the rush of adrenaline still pulsing through him. When he looked up, Batman and the Batwing were gone. The last thing Raven remembered was doing everything in her power to save Dick's life before she collapsed from exhaustion. She woke up on a couch beside her friends.
Is he
You did everything you could. The rest is up to him, said Gar.
And Corey?
She's with Donna. She cried herself to sleep. Everyone was gathered in another one of Batman's safe houses outside of Gotham City. Dick had suffered multiple broken bones and severe burns. Raven had done her best, but Dick was still on life support. Corey was finally asleep, but Tim was beating himself up and taking his frustration out on a punching bag.
Stupid and careless!
Dick was the big brother that Tim never had. He should have noticed the extra weight in the pizza box, or at least smelled the fish, and the guilt was eating away at him.
Tim, there was no way you could have known,
said Barbara.
Stupid and careless!
Screamed Tim, smashing the punching bag into the wall. Damian was venting his own anger by decapitating solid light holograms.
How the hell did the Joker know how Dick and Corey like their pizza? Out of the hundreds of pizza parlors in Gotham, how would he know which one they were likely to order from?
Because he's the goddamn Joker, said Jason. No one had heard from Batman since the interrogation, but Raven said that she could feel his rage emanating all the way back in Gotham, and it was beginning to scare her. You're a half-demon sorceress from another dimension, and you're scared of a man in a bat costume? Asked Gar.
Trust me, you don't want to be around him when he's pissed,
said Batgirl. Everyone took turns standing guard. The day passed without incident, until someone came driving up the road toward the safe house around sunset.
Guys, I think we've got company,
said Batgirl, watching from the roof. I'm not picking up any traces of explosives, Joker venom, or anything else, said Cyborg. Intercept him. Batgirl stopped the truck. What do you want? I was told to deliver this to the Titans, said the man at the wheel, handing Barbara an envelope. Cyborg made absolutely sure there wasn't anything malevolent in the envelope before Donna opened it. He has my kids. Inside the envelope was an image of Ravager and Jericho bound and gagged. Jericho was wearing a sensory deprivation helmet that prevented him from using his powers. They were both sitting on top of a bomb. I thought it was weird that someone like Deathstroke would be willing to work with the Joker, even if the money was good, said Wally. There was also a phone in the envelope, with a tracker pointing toward Gotham Harbor. Somehow, it didn't surprise anyone that Deathstroke had tracking devices implanted on his kids.
Tim, take a team and recover Ravager and Jericho,
said Donna.
Whatever the Joker's planning, I'm sure we don't want Deathstroke on the board. Everyone else, we need to assume this location is compromised. We're leaving.
Donna was able to carry Corey onto the transport without waking her up. As soon as Dick was safely aboard, they were off. They had barely flown a few kilometers when every monitor in Gotham displayed the Joker's face.
Bad news, ladies and gentlemen. It seems that Birdbrat and Stargirl have had a bit of a spat, and now the wedding may be postponed indefinitely. I certainly hope the bride ordered her husband extra crispy. I am going to rip his limbs off and beat him to death with them! Roared Damian. The good news is that we're going to finish the festivities regardless, continued the Joker. And what better way to put a bow on it than with a good old-fashioned one-on-one fight to the death? That's right, folks. For one night only, it's the showdown you've all been waiting for. The Dork Knight Defective and his wacky pal. If you want me, Batman, come and get me. Oh, and you better come alone, or else. All the monitors throughout Gotham displayed a map leading to a building on the outskirts of the city. The building in question had been labeled Joker's Funhouse.
Batman, do you read me?
Said Barbara into her comms.
Batman?
Batman didn't answer anyone's hails. Miss Gordon.
Alfred?
Master Bruce has just left. I can't get a hold of him. I'm worried about what he intends to do. I'll go, said Jason.
Jason, we have no idea what the Joker is planning.
I'm sure you and the Titans can handle it.
Jason, the Joker said he wanted Bruce to go alone. We have no idea what he'll do if he sees you coming.
He won't see me coming. You know what Bruce did to the pizza boy. This time he's out for blood, and I need to get there first. Barbara didn't protest. As Jason turned to leave, he stopped in his tracks. Why do I get the feeling that we're forgetting something? Tim was off with a group of Titans to recover Ravager and Jericho. The rest of the Titans were escorting Dick and Corey to a new location. It took Barbara, Damien, and Jason a minute to realize what was missing.
Where's Harley?
The Batmobile raced through the streets like a black comet. For the past 24 hours, Batman had done nothing but pray that Dick would pull through, and fruitlessly tried to vent his anger. He had thought about all the times he had sent the Joker back to Arkham, only for him to break out and cause more death and chaos. He thought of the time he had shot and paralyzed Barbara, and everything that he had put her through. He thought of the time he savagely beat Jason in front of his mother, and then locked them both in a building that had been set to explode. He could still remember the gaping wound he had felt in his heart when he held Jason's lifeless body in his arms. No one knew how Jason had come back from the dead. And now, Dick was lying on a bed fighting for his life, and it was all because the Joker had poisoned his fiancée with Scarecrow's fear toxin. Batman didn't blame Starfire. He blamed himself. It's my fault for letting that monster live. Bruce always blamed himself for being unable to save his parents. It didn't matter that he was just a kid. He blamed himself when Barbara was paralyzed. He blamed himself when he lost Jason. And now it was his fault that the Joker had gotten to Dick and Corey. Who would be next? Tim? Damien? Gordon? Alfred? Selina? We're going to find him, Dick.
And then what? Send him back to Arkham just so he can escape again?
Dick.
Don't bother pretending. It happens every damn time. He won't stop until he pulls our f***ing heart out. That's all he does.
In the distance, he saw the neon lights glowing against the rundown old buildings at the edge of Gotham. Joker's Funhouse. It started to rain as Batman got out of the Batmobile. He felt his muscles tighten and his heart beat faster.
No more. This ends tonight.
To be continued. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, then like this video. Subscribe for more updates, and if you really want to help this channel out, click the links in the description below and buy my books.